one thing I'll never understand is like, if you're gonna be a scumbag and cheat, you're gonna go and cheat with somebody that looks just like the person that you left at home. Like, go and find something else.
No, I mean, you like what you like on the outside, and maybe it was not, they're not attracted to his face.
I don't get that.
And this ninja was out here just slanging and getting somebody else pregnant. I could see that this child is a reminder of betrayal, like I went through.
The way to handle it would be to leave the man. This is overcomplicating. Like, leave the man. So am I the asshole?
No, absolutely not. Mm-mm. Not at all. Not in the slightest. At all. Nope. Mm-mm.
Welcome to Two Bees in a Pod. I am Bilala.
And I am B. Leonga, and this is a podcast about immigrant experiences in the U.S., sharing our perspectives on various topics,
Including straddling cultures, fitting in, staying connected, learning and unlearning the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Welcome back to Two Bees in a Pod. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today. Well, different for us, but something that, a lot of other podcasts do, which we've been wanting to do for a while. So we're going to be reading some Reddit posts and giving our opinions. And obviously we want to hear your opinions too. But before we do that, we have to talk about the trending story it's not only trending on TikTok, it's literally trending on all media around the world, LinkedIn, everything. So I want to start off by saying that Coldplay is literally one of my favorite all-time bands. So let's open with that. Obviously, a lot of people love them because they're doing a world tour now. And on, which night was this? Wednesday night, right? Wednesday the 16th. They had a show in Boston or near Boston, and they do this thing where if you've ever been to a sporting event or a concert, they have that jumbotron where the camera will go to different people in the audience, and they do it for different reasons. Like at sporting events, it could just be to highlight a fan, and they'll do a little dance, or there's a kiss cam where they'll show couples and the couples will kiss or do something cute. So Coldplay, they do this thing where the camera finds different fans and the lead singer will make a little song or something, about them. So they're doing that, the Jumbotron is panning through the audience, and they land on this couple. The man it's obviously a romantic relationship because the man is hugging her from behind, the woman. And
his hands were chest area, not
Really?
mid-rib. Yes. I had to go back and study it because I saw a comment somewhere. Somebody said he was giving bra action.
Listen, a tight embrace. And immediately they realize that the camera is on them. The dude ducks, he goes down immediately, and then the lady turns around. She has her back to the camera, and then there's a third person, another woman, and she just looks like a deer caught in the headlights. She's smiling, but she looks awkward as hell. And Chris Martin, who's the lead singer of Coldplay, he makes a joke. He's like, oh, what's going on? They're either really shy or they're having an affair. And he said it. I don't think he even realized what he was about to unleash onto the world. He didn't unleash it. They did. So the video hits TikTok either that night or the next morning. I don't know when. But when I tell you that it had to have been under 2 hours, maybe even under an hour, TikTok had identified everybody in that video. So the man is the CEO of a software company called Astronomer. The lady who he was embracing is the chief people
officer, aka HR.
Basically head of HR, right? And then the lady who was with them is some other person, like a VP of HR as well.
Who just got promoted last week.
And this is where it takes a turn. Those two people, the CEO and the chief people officer, are both married, not to each other. Hence their reaction. So, of course, TikTok detectives do their thing. They find his wife, and people are going to her social media. I think she has Facebook, and basically telling her, I don't know if they sent her the video telling her, I mean, it was a whole thing. I felt really bad for the lady because the guy's name is Andy Byron, and I don't know I've forgotten his wife's name, but within the day, like, she changed her name on Facebook, like, she dropped his last name. And people are saying, like, oh, she's doing that because she's about to get a divorce. I think she's doing it because she didn't want people to find her social media. I don't know what you think, but that was my initial thought. It's like she's dropping Byron because she doesn't want people, spamming her anymore. She doesn't want to be found.
I mean, it's too late. It'll still come up. The way that Facebook works, she's still good. I think she eventually deactivated the account.
Yeah.
I think that's a very, I'm sorry, that's a brutal way to find out you're getting cheated on, when you find out the same time as the entire world. Because when you said it was on TikTok. I'm like, girl, it's on Facebook, it's on LinkedIn, it's on the India Times, it's on every obscure aggregating news website across the globe. Just imagine, like, you find yourself in an embarrassing situation because she's collateral damage. She wasn't doing anything. She was not there. She was at home. They probably said this was a team building work event.
That is the thing. It's like, because obviously the CEO is there, the chief people officer, and some VP of HR. They expense that shit on the corporate card and called it, some kind of team building work event. And they were in a box. This is not regular, like,
they were in a
concert seats.
Maybe that's why they thought they were safe, but, like, they could have been inside the suite. Why they have to come to the balcony and, like...
This is the thing. I don't understand, like, how they were thinking, because they were not the first people on the kiss cam. They saw the Jumbotron going around. It's like a balcony type of thing. They were leaning on the balcony. I'm like, why didn't you think that you were a potential target for the camera?
I've been at games where I want to wave and they never come to me, so they probably thought it was not, like, what were the odds, right? They were very comfortable. But if you're cheating, bruh, like, wouldn't you pay attention? Like, I feel like you should be aware. You should be aware of your environment. Even if not for the kiss cam, but just, what if you run into somebody who knows you?
Yeah.
They're just very comfortable for you. Like, how are you cheating and you're in a public space? Like, you're cheating an African man.
And then, so that was their first mistake, right? Obviously being so, bold and comfortable. Their second mistake, honestly, was that reaction. Because if they had stayed as they were, he would have made a little song about them and the camera would have moved on, and only people in that stadium. And what are the odds, again, that somebody in there would have recognized him and said, oh, he's cheating? Like, is there a reaction that actually they should have just, like, stood their ground and, like, waved, or even just pretended like they couldn't see that they were on camera? It's the reaction that has led to their undoing, which is ironic.
Yeah. What was it? I think I want to quote Drake. It was it Drake or Future and Lori Harvey, and then they broke up and somebody took a picture and she tried to duck, and Future was like, should have ducked faster. They should have, like, at the moment they realized they're on screen, you gotta see through. You gotta see with your chest. Yes. You gotta stand your ground, and, like, because at that point, your spouses might catch you, and people who know you
I don't even
might
think how would the spouses have caught. I don't see it.
Bruh, we are in the internet age. Listen, remember I told you I saw my uncle and aunt in somebody's TikTok video?
But why? The only reason that person, and I want to just say that it's not Coldplay that shared the video. This is it's different angles. It's from fans, right?
Exactly.
Would that person have shared that video if they had reacted normally? No, because it wouldn't have been, like, a viral thing.
Yeah, but I think that it's you're sharing the concert, right? You go to a Beyonce concert, you could just be sharing your highlights. You never know. I'm just saying that it's the internet. You never know when you're out who is recording what, and then you might end up in the background of somebody's video.
That's very true. But again, the chances then of being exposed would have been way slimmer.
The odds are slimmer, but, like, the people, because they could be hanging out with the other HR lady and their coworkers who are their ops. That's
the thing. I want to talk about the other lady. So obviously people have, they looked through her LinkedIn too, and she has been following that Kristen Cabot, that the CEO of HR. she has been following her for at least three companies. This is the third company that they're working together. So obviously they're very, very friendly. And this girl obviously is aware of the affair based on her reaction and just the fact like why obviously she knew because she was there. And I'm like, I'm interested to find out like what is her angle? And she recently got promoted, like you said. So it's like, is there, what's going on
I
with
mean,
that?
it's her girl. She's trying to get her bills paid. Her girl
Hey,
might like to live on the edge. So if you think, I want us to talk about HR and bad behavior because this this is not my first foray into these kinds of salacious stories that come out of HR. And I mean, let's not to assume HR, human resources, people, whatever organization. At one of my old jobs, the VP of HR was having an affair with his subordinates. Like in his succession plan, she was the person to take over from him. And so she was like in his meetings and everything. His daughter worked at the same company. I don't know what they did or did not do, but when they got caught, he got walked out of the building. Like
oof.
he got fired and everything. But like I said, this was VP of HR. He was in the C-suite, executive HR, whatever. He got caught cheating. And I guess because she was his subordinate, like people said it was an affair, but because she was his subordinate, the company ended up paying her $5 million.
I mean, yeah, I see it. I mean, that was justified.
She won because if she did enjoy the affair and
Hmm.
she got a payday,
Yeah.
it's a win-win. But like HR would be on everybody else's if you date your coworker, HR wants to know.
Hmm.
Everything you do, HR wants to know. Not because they care about you, they're trying to cover their ass. But you, the chief people officer, what happened to all your HR training, ma'am?
Ma'am, like so brazen, so brazen. I would give anything to be in the Slacks or Teams chats of astronomer or be in the break room.
Yes,
Oh,
break room or like people's. I don't think they're gonna discuss this on Slack. This is like you and your friend.
listen, we've still, I'll give those employees credit because as viral as this story has gone, not one single person, like semi-anonymously, has gone on TikTok to like give any inside scoop. So like shout out to those employees, like they're very professional, but I'm dying to hear like the
Are they?
inside scoop. You have heard something?
No, I'm just saying it looks because I went on their website. It looks like a relatively not large company.
Yeah,
So I feel like any leaks they'll catch them all.
bruh. Like I would give anything
I
like
feel
to,
bad for their spouses. I feel bad for his wife
yes.
and her husband because, like, you people, they've gotten caught in this. People are looking them up. And I think on the
Mm-hmm.
internet, people forget that these are human beings with real feelings. And this lady probably has kids. Like,
They do have
yeah,
kids. Yeah, they
it's
do.
gossip and it's scandalous, and we're all talking about it. But to like go to her Facebook posting the clips, like, what's the
That's the
point?
thing that I don't understand why people take shit so far. It's like, yeah, I get not feeling sympathy for him, but like, why would you take it as far as going to like, first of all, find the wife and then like be commenting and messaging? Like, that's what I don't get. Like, I get the kikiing and all of this, but to actually be making contact with
Yeah,
somebody's family, like, come on. Like, people take
absolutely.
shit way too far. Like, they
So
dox people over stuff. Like,
yeah.
it's a bit much. But yeah, that, I mean, like you said, it's global. Like,
I just don't want my bad behavior to be caught in 4K.
I mean, you just got to be smarter than that. Again, like it was extremely brazen. Like they were not
Yeah,
even
it was
standing side
brazen.
by side.
It was brazen. I do think, I mean, maybe hindsight is 2020, but I just, in this day and age, you have to, like I said, you get caught in the background of somebody's video where it could have been their employee, it could have been somebody one box over doing this
Yeah,
and
yeah.
catch you in the background. So it's like, okay, stay in the safety of your box. Don't come to the front. But
Okay, the last thing I want to say about this, which people have said that the people they were cheating with look like their spouses, which I'm not going to argue. I mean, the Kristen lady is blonde. I don't know if she's a real blonde, but she does kind of look like the dude's wife. And then that CEO looks like Kristen's husband, and that's one thing I'll never understand. It's like, if you're gonna be a scumbag and cheat, you're gonna go and cheat with somebody that looks just like the person that you left at home. Like, go and find something else. You know what I mean? Like, that I don't
No,
understand.
no. I mean, you like what you like on the outside, and maybe it was not. They're not attracted to his face. It was his personality or her personality.
I don't get that. I don't get that. It's like,
I can see physicality. Like you have a type. This is the thing that you're attracted
then
to.
stay with the type that's in your house. I don't like. Why are you
I mean,
risking everything to go?
outside. Watch this,
Okay.
Maybe if you
Well,
have experience in cheating and getting caught, holler at us.
holler at us, so your anonymity will be protected. I just want to know your point of view. Like, when you cheat, do you go and seek the same type? Do you look for something different? Tell us. Because obviously we're not cheaters on this show, so we can't relate. But we would love to hear your perspective. Okay, so moving on. Like I said, we're gonna read some Reddit posts and give our little takes, our little opinions. So if you're not familiar with Reddit, there is a section or a subreddit called Am I the Asshole? And a lot of times this is what people are reading on those podcasts. And Am I the Asshole is basically somebody or people coming to Reddit and they'll describe a situation, how they responded, and then they're asking for the public's opinion on whether they are the asshole or not. So the first one I'm going to read is regarding something we've talked about on the show before, which is black tax. And if you're not familiar, in season 2 last year we did an episode on black tax. You could go and listen to it, but you should be able to get the context based on the story that I'm going to read. So it says, am I the asshole for refusing to keep paying black tax even though my family is struggling? It says, I'm a 28-year-old African woman working in a decent job as a teacher. I'm not rich, but I'm doing okay. Ever since I started working, I've been expected to help out my extended family, paying for groceries, covering school fees for cousins, sending money to my mom monthly, etc. In our culture, it's seen as a duty, what people call black tax. I understood this growing up. I've helped where I could, but lately it's become too much. My siblings now expect me to cover everything, and my mom doesn't say no to them. I'm expected to help with bills, car repairs, and now even a wedding contribution for my younger cousin's wedding. I finally said no more. I've started saving for my own life, therapy, travel, and a deposit for my own apartment. I told my family that I'm not a bank and they need to start standing on their own feet. I told my mom I will only help with the needs, and she cried. My aunt called me whitewashed. My brother said I've become selfish and forgotten where I came from. But I've spent years putting their needs first. I've missed opportunities, drained my savings, and lived paycheck to paycheck while they bought new phones and clothes. I still love them, but I'm tired of carrying everyone. Am I the asshole for choosing myself? What do you think? Is she the asshole?
Not really, but I also need more context.
What more context do you need?
In the sense of it depends. Not people. I should have framed my thoughts better. If you come from a community where there are people who have always stood up to whenever you needed, they were there for you and came to your rescue. I'm not saying that you should drain, but I will make sure that you're always present for those people. But when everybody now, and like she said, she's not the asshole because she said needs, things that you need, not wants, not, hey, I need a new graduation shoe or I need the latest iPhone now. But things that you need, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she's the asshole at all. Yeah, because it sounds like it's helping your younger siblings and her mom, which
An extended family.
right, asking contribution for a younger cousin's wedding. I'm sorry, that's a luxury. That's for people who have extra disposable income to be dashing money for a wedding. Like, no, like, it's not even your sibling. Maybe she's close to that cousin like a sibling, I don't know, but yeah, no, I don't think. Car repairs, bills, but even those things, let's just say you said like needs, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So at what point then can she say I can no longer help with the basic necessities?
If she's draining her savings where she's living paycheck to paycheck, where let's say she uses public transportation and then she loses her pass, right? When people have physical cards, you lose your pass with $100, $200 and you can't make it to work. And your last 200 is, do I go to work or do I give that money away? So it's like, you have to also give. I always say you cannot pour from E. You have to make sure that you're full to be able to give into other people. And that's
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, mentally, financially. If we are all poor, I can't help you, but it's like I need to get to a place where I can also help.
Yeah. And I don't know what country she's writing this from. So, I mean, I can't speak, but she says she has a decent job as a teacher. A teacher is a decent job in certain places in America. They're
Yeah.
barely scraping by. Like,
Mhm.
teachers are working as bartenders after they're moonlighting, doing all kinds of things to make ends meet. So, I mean, depending on where she is, she might actually be struggling a little bit. So, if she's saying like she's saving her money for therapy, travel, it sounds like these are not like super extravagant things, but they're things that she has had to forego because she was helping the family. So, I mean, she's not the asshole. And then the audacity of the aunts to call her whitewashed.
That's okay.
So and the general consensus in the comments is that, yeah, she's not the asshole, and people are giving, their own opinions from different cultures. Somebody said, yes, like it's the same thing in the Philippines. They said that's why he decided to be an underachiever, or they decided to be an underachiever because they saw from a young age, like what would be
Wow.
expected of them. So,
Wow. I saw one that said, and it's true, it says givers have to have boundaries because takers never have any.
that is very true. That is
And
very
that's true.
true.
There are
Yeah.
people who you will give and give and give, and all they know how to do is receive. And they'll get upset if you stop because it's never even occurred to them, like, what does she want? Or what does he want? Nah, it's just
Mm-hmm.
what can I get from them? You have to establish, and more than anything, you cannot kill yourself because you want to give, because when you die, then everybody has nothing. I mean, they'll find somebody else to give, and you're just
True.
gonna be dead.
And somebody else made a good point, which we've talked about, right? Is that I'm assuming she is in, like, the West, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the UK, US, somewhere like that. And the family, based on the comments that the aunt made, I'm assuming they're somewhere back home, which could be an African country, maybe. They might not also understand the reality of what she's living, right? We've talked
Yeah.
about this, how people back home sometimes they think, that you're living this kind of luxurious life, and they don't really understand, the economy, or, the financial obligations. They think you're just flowing with money. So that could be an aspect of it too. And they just feel like she has it easy, and that's why they feel okay asking her so much. So maybe she needs to really like bring them in on the realities of her life, like, hey, this is how much. She doesn't have to, but it might be helpful, like, this is how much I make, these
It
are my
does.
expenses, blah blah blah.
I don't think it matters. People don't care. Like, you're abroad. That's really what.
Okay, now this other one. So it says, am I the asshole for telling our parents my brother had a child outside of his marriage? So it says, for years, my brother has been trying to go into business with my husband. It hasn't worked out for various reasons, but he finally had an idea that my husband thought would be successful. The thing is, before my husband goes into business with anyone, he does an extensive background check on them. Good for you, hubby. I'm not sure if he made my brother aware he was going to do a check or not, but it's how he found out that my brother has a daughter outside of his marriage. I had no idea this child existed, and my husband warned me I shouldn't say anything, but I couldn't just not tell my parents, so I told them a few days ago. They were as shocked as me, as they also had no idea she existed, and they immediately confronted my brother about it. Turns out his wife is fully aware, but said she would leave if he tried to include his daughter in the family, which is why neither one of them told any of us about her. My parents want to meet her and include her in our family, but my sister-in-law is threatening to leave if that happens, so my brother won't give them her mother's contact information. They want my husband to find out for them, but he's refusing to get involved, so everything's a shit show right now. I personally want to meet my niece, so I've told my husband if he doesn't give me the information, I'll ask the friend he uses for background checks myself, which has caused multiple fights between us. My brother hates me right now and is blaming me for his potential divorce, but I don't think it's fair, as I didn't know my parents would immediately confront him. In parentheses, it says, I did ask them not to. Am I the asshole?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Ah.
What? She's being a tattletale. I'm sorry. Like, how old are you? First of all, her husband said don't say anything. What is she talking about? I couldn't live without telling my parents. It's not their kid. Like, if you wanted to discuss it with somebody, she should have gone to her brother. She should have gone to the person and at least had the conversation with him and say, okay, well, I'm going to tell them X. But it's still not your business, right? That's his thing. Now, he's also a bitch because
Mm-hmm.
your wife says, I'm gonna stay with you, but you can't know, like, I'm sorry, you lay down, you made the child, this child exists, the child is here. So you're being an absentee father because you want to keep, like, y'all gotta figure it out. But the sister is, to me, she's the asshole because I don't understand. You're married, so I'm guessing at a minimum 19 plus something. Which one is I couldn't not tell my parents. Is it their life?
I mean, okay, this is my point of view. The wife, right? I want to start with the brother's wife. So,
Yes.
your husband cheated on you, had a
Hmm.
child outside of your marriage, and you have agreed to stay in that marriage on the condition that he basically abandons his child and does not introduce her to the rest of her family. So she's missing out a big part of her life. Why would you not just leave that man? Like, why is that a condition that you would put to stay? It doesn't make the betrayal any better. Like, he betrayed you. Get the hell out of there and let him do whatever he wants with his daughter. That's a
I don't,
person,
and
and I know.
like, even like, why are you comfortable with somebody who's okay walking away from their child, right? Because what if you guys are not together? I don't know if it said they have children, if he has a child with the wife, but it's like, what if you're the person who's not there and some other lady says, yeah, we're getting married, but forget your ex-wife and your kids. And well, he's shown that he would do it because he's doing it now. So why are you
Mm-hmm.
comfortable with that? Like, if it's not this child today, it's some other child in the future.
I know, like, I just don't understand. Like, I get that she's being vindictive, but how does that make anything better? Like, he still betrayed you. He's still a piece of shit. Leave the marriage. Like, why would you stay on that condition? Like, what does it fix? Does it make him a better
Yeah,
man? No, it doesn't.
yeah.
Like,
I guess you don't want to be reminded of the child's existence, but I mean, the child exists.
exactly. Like, come
She ain't
on.
going
Like,
nowhere.
give me a break. Yeah, so. And that child, I don't want to say she has the right, but she deserves to know family that care about her just like
Yeah,
they want to know her, you know? So, I mean, the asshole in this story is the guy who had the child outside of marriage. He's the asshole. Now, is
yes,
the OP an asshole too for going to tell the
yes,
parents? I don't know why she would, like,
yes.
what,
Like she said, little tattletale. Like, how old are you?
why are you running to mommy and daddy? Like, I would have pursued, and now this is where I agree with her, is that I would have gone and looked for that child and be like, hey, I'm your
Yeah,
auntie. I want to have a
yeah.
relationship
I
with you. Or
I
I would
think
go to her mother and be like, hey, I would like to have a relationship with your child. I'm her auntie. Yeah, that I agree with. But
I mean, but now her husband is also in a place that he did not want to be in.
I mean, to be fair, he should have disclosed. She said she doesn't know if he disclosed that he was running the background check. If he didn't, then that's on him. He should have disclosed. You can't be running background checks on people without telling them.
Why not?
No, you have to. What do you mean? And it was over a business contract. You have to disclose that.
I want to.
Really?
I mean, if we're going into business and you're not telling me things that, because hiding a child speaks to your character, and I don't know if you're going to tell me that, yeah, I'm not a great person to go into business with because I abandoned my kids.
Yeah, but you still have to tell them that, I'm running a background check on you because I do this for any potential business partner. When you go to an
Oh,
employer and they do a background check, they have to tell you.
I'm just saying because the information is there. And I'm not saying this because I have or have not looked up people before.
I'm not talking about internet sleuthing. I'm talking about like an
No, no,
official criminal background check. You have to disclose that.
I've paid for reports.
You have to disclose. Well, anyway, I'm saying in this case of a
It was
business
not in
dealing,
business. It was not in
yeah, that's
business.
different. That's different. If it's personal, that's different. But business, you should disclose that to the person that you're running. But yeah, the comments agreed with you that she's the asshole.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, the brother, she says the brother hates her and he's blaming her for his potential divorce. She's not to blame for your potential divorce, sir. You are.
Let him
You
get
are
out.
the one to blame.
I
It's
mean,
like,
not everybody has ludicrous money, but ludicrous, the girlies with the whose husbands have the side babies may want to learn a thing or two from a doxy because she has all her husband's kids, the one before her, the one with her, and the one
really? I
without
don't be
of
following
her.
celebrities like that. Really?
It comes up every now and again, but no, like for the longest, she so I think he has joint custody of the one child he had when they were on
Mm-hmm.
break. And when you see the kids, you will not be able to tell since they all look like him. But the way that she treats them. So his daughter has been sharing, and it came up on my TikTok. Probably I watched one video. They all went to Gabon for the summer, and the her half daughter spent the first part of summer with her mom, but she flew to Gabon to meet them for the rest of the summer. Like I
Okay.
said, money makes a lot of things go away, but I think that also there are other wealthy people who, you know, like people say the reason you don't see Dwayne Wade's Break Baby is because Gabrielle doesn't it's not that he's not present in the child's life, it's just not in the public space.
But is he, I feel like in that relationship, she's more like the social media one. So would he even be posting the child normally, do you think?
He could, because like I said, he's not absent. I'm not disclosing how much time I spend on the internet because he's like I've seen where his dad, Dwayne Wade's father, has gone golfing with the other kid, and so they're not absent, they just don't post on social media. And now I'm gonna ask, like in the context of when you hear her Gabrielle Union talk about her story or like written about it, she was going through hell trying to get pregnant, doing everything, and this ninja was out here just slanging and getting somebody else pregnant. I could see that this child is a reminder of betrayal, like I went through. Is she obligated to like move on and post the kid, or like what do you think, in your opinion? What do you think would be a way to handle it?
I mean, the way to handle it would be to leave the man. This is overcomplicating. Like, leave the man, like, why? Like, look at the situation now that he's putting you and everybody else in, including his children, Like, and also we don't know, like, that child's mother, maybe she doesn't want her child to be in the media. Who knows? So
She
it's
do.
not necessarily only on this.
All right.
Yeah, okay. Let me see. What's the next one? Okay. This one, am I the asshole for skipping my brother's wedding because I wasn't invited to the engagement party? So it says 28 male, have a twin brother. Growing up, we were inseparable until recently. I thought we were still very close. I was always more of a shy nerd, and he was an extrovert that played sports throughout our childhood and high school, but we spent almost all our time together by choice. We went our separate ways when college came, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read like the whole thing, but basically they went their separate ways and lived their separate lives. My brother announced on Instagram that he and his girlfriend of 3 years got engaged. I was incredibly happy for them and texted him congrats. He mentioned they were planning to have an engagement party in 6 to 8 weeks, and I told him to let me know so I can book a flight to come celebrate. I was never told a date. If I brought it up with him or anyone in the family, they would change the subject or say it's still being planned and confirmed. After a few weeks, I texted my brother to ask about the date because it must be getting close and I don't want to pay for a last minute flight. No response. I asked my mom for details and she said it's not really an engagement party, just a small dinner with family. There's no need to come down for it. I eventually found out that it was, in fact, a big party. They rented out an entire restaurant for 4 hours, and there were about 80 guests. Family, friends, cousins, everyone. And everyone was told I couldn't make it. My aunt texted me and was very disappointed, said she was very disappointed I couldn't make it. I couldn't make time to join, and I replied saying that I would have happily come, but I was not invited. That was almost a year ago. Since then, I've tried to get to the bottom of why I wasn't invited. Over the course of months, it went from it was just meant to be a small gathering to I don't know what happened. There must have been a miscommunication. It's just a party. It's no big deal. I asked my brother if he was mad at me. I thought maybe his fiance didn't like me. Blah, blah, blah. Christmas and Easter were very awkward. Nobody wanted to address the elephant in the room. And then he left early when he visited in May because his sister said, "You move so far away. It's like you're not really family anymore. You make everything feel so weird now." So 9 months ago, I got the save the date announcement, and 6 months ago, I got the invitation to the wedding. I wasn't asked to be in the wedding party, which is fine and wasn't surprising at this point. My sister and younger brother were asked to be in the wedding party, so another snob. I also didn't get a plus one for my girlfriend that I've been seeing for almost a year and a half. My sister, however, got a +1 for her friends with benefits. So I decided I wasn't welcome and I probably was only invited for optics. I didn't RSVP. No, since I knew that would probably cause a shit show, I just didn't go. No one contacted me about missing the rehearsal dinner, so I guess even if I did go, I wasn't invited to that either, so I wasn't expected to be there. I started getting calls and texts about an hour before the ceremony asking where I was, if my flight was delayed, how far I would be. I ignored them. They stopped for a while during the ceremony, but started again right after. I finally picked up my mom's call and she screamed, "Where the hell are you?" I replied, "In Portland, where you all prefer me to be." Basically, the mom starts, yelling at him, saying that he's embarrassing them, blah, blah, blah. He said, "Tell everyone I said hi," and hung up. Now I'm getting calls and texts from everyone saying I'm being petty and ruined the day. So am I the asshole here? I feel like I'm just matching their energy.
It's not the asshole. There's no way you're the asshole. Like he said, it's not a big party, so what's the big deal? How can I ruin the day if I'm not the star of the day?
Hello. And I'm like, this is your twin. And I'm so confused. I don't know if there's something that he's not telling us because it's like, why would you not be invited? Why would you not invite your twin brother to the engagement party?
The comment the sister made about, we don't feel like family anymore. I think it happens a lot especially in smaller towns. There's almost like a resentment when people leave. Like when you grow up in a town where your family has been there for generations, everybody goes to college, maybe one town over, but they all come back and live there. When you get up and move to some other place, it's like, whoa, 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 buddy, what's
Mm,
going on? And then it's like you've changed. Because I read a comment, somebody's like, yeah, have they ever gone to visit him? Right? He
true.
talks about going home. Are they trying to get to know you? With this place that you like? Do they care? It almost is like we said, boundaries and giving. You've always come to them. Everything has been about you and what you're giving and how you're showing up. Are they showing up for you? Because he asked about the party. He said it's not a big deal. Then you had a big party, then try to make me look bad. Like, nah, I agree with him. Like, don't go. Like, he did the right thing.
Yeah, I agree. Not the asshole. I wouldn't have gone either because it's like I don't understand why the rest of the family members are kind of enabling the brother. It's like
Because they're all in the same place. They're all they're getting together, they're doing things, and like, oh, he thinks he's better than us now. I mean, somebody
I
told me
agree with
that years
you
ago, but
that
I
you
thought I
think you're
was,
better.
yeah, because I bought a TV. I was so offended that is a
Not
TV.
a team. Okay, I think we have time for at least one more, maybe two more.
Yeah.
So this is friendship edition. Am I the asshole for telling my friend she's in the same league as the men she calls ugly? My friend, okay, these are the kids. My friend, 19 female, downloaded dating apps like Tinder and Hinge for the first time about a week ago. For reference, she's the type that always says she wants a boyfriend, wants to do a couple things, feels lonely, single, etc. She's also, in my opinion, very normal and average looking. Not ugly, not super hot, just all right. Since then, she's been complaining to me that almost all the men there are ugly, short, etc., and she doesn't match with anybody hot. I asked to see which people she was calling ugly, so she showed me her likes, and it mostly showed people perfectly in her league, as in moderately attractive guys. I told her that these guys were all in her league and she should give some of them a chance since she always complains about wanting to be in a relationship. She denied that she's in the same league as them and said she's much more attractive. I pointed out that in her words, she doesn't match with any of the guys she finds attractive, so she's not in their league. She said, I am an asshole. Am I? Yes, yes, dear. Yes, you are the asshole. You are the asshole in this case.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because, okay, look how first she has described her friend. Average. She says she's very normal. She's average looking. I'm sorry, you just don't speak about your friends that way, right? And then when the friend shows you the dudes that, she's calling ugly, I feel like there's a different way she could have positioned that, and said, oh, maybe he's funny. Maybe he has a good person. You know what I mean? Don't
She
say, don't say, oh, they're in your league after she has just called somebody ugly. Say no. Let's get past the looks and just have a conversation. You know what I mean? Like she could have positioned that very differently. That's why she's the asshole.
The reason I'm hesitating is like a decade ago, or a decade and change ago. I probably would have said the same thing, and have said it and like stood my ground. So I hear you on like being kinder with
Hmm.
your words, because I have said like there are times when people we're having conversations about like who's talking to who. I'm like, oh, they punching above their weight class.
Wow.
No, hear me out. Beauty is subjective. Beauty is very, very much subjective.
Hmm.
However, I'm just saying, yes, sometimes people, people looks don't matter to some people and it's what's on the inside. But in a very vain society, I think that sometimes you need to be true to self.
But there are other things that make somebody attractive. That's the thing. Like you cannot
But
just say,
on the apps, I mean, I've never been on the apps, but on the apps, like, I feel like you're looking at them and you can decide in like, hey, I'm not attracted to this person based off of looks and I don't want any more than that. I'm just saying, like, because I think, and let's take beauty. Where girls are talking about, I want a man who's bringing this and, 6'5", was it 6'5" finance? You want all of, what are
trust
you
fund.
bringing? What are you bringing? And that's why I talk about like punching above weight class. Like you want the 6'5" brown eyes, six pack. What do you look like?
See, I mean, I disagree though. There could be other things that she knows
Yes,
that she's bringing to the relationship.
but she's
I
not
don't
talking
think,
about I want to get to know. I think
I
her
don't
friend,
think,
I think her friend, if I was her friend today, I would frame it differently, but the gist of what I would say is punching your weight class.
no, I don't think people have to be equally yoked when it comes to looks because there's so many other things that balance that in a
But
relationship.
fair. But she's not even. She's making the match. Okay. I'm going strictly on the assumption that the matches are based off of looks, right? Like, how do you learn
Right,
this person's personality without? And I'm
right.
also a firm believer that if you look at somebody, don't lie. You know if you're attracted to this person by looks at first glance. People like to be like, it's a lie. When no, no. I'm not saying you can look at somebody and you're not attracted to them physically, but when you get to know them, it's like, I mean, even the Hunchback of Notre Dame had somebody for him. They're not like the Beast and Beauty and
Right,
the Beast or whatever. But people like to act really coy, like, you're not attracted to this person. Be honest. Don't lie.
right. Yeah, I mean, but I mean, my point still stands that the
There's
friend,
more. She
she
could be
should have
kind.
come from a different angle. Yeah, she should. And the way she opened the thing too by saying, "Oh, this baby is very average. She's not even hot." Like, are you really her friend? Are you actually her friend?
She sounds like an aunt.
Yeah, she's sounding like an op. Okay, last one. Am I the asshole for telling my friend I don't want to end up like her after she told me to lower my standards? I, 22 female, met Rachel, 23 female, 3 years ago in university, and we became friends. For context, I never dated before, and I'm okay with that. I don't purposefully seek out relationships, and I'm comfortable being by myself. I have a few close friends, and that's enough for me. In contrast, Rachel has had a lot of boyfriends and doesn't like to be single, her words. She met her husband, Max, 2 years ago in one of our classes. They quickly began dating. He isn't the most pleasant guy to be around, in my opinion, and they had quite a few big arguments during their relationship. He even tried to flirt with me, and I told Rachel about it, but she dismissed it, saying he was probably just trying to butter me up so I could help with homework. He has told some sexist jokes in the past too. Whenever they fought, I always told Rachel she deserves better and to break up with him. But in the end, they always made up. He proposed to her after 1 year and they got married 4 months ago. However, after they moved in together, Max became even worse. He never helps out with cleaning or cooking, doesn't really take Rachel out on dates anymore, and whenever she tries to talk to him about it, he tells her to stop complaining about wife's duties, quote unquote. So a few days ago, Rachel asked me if I would like to go on a date with one of her friends from high school who is single and looking for a relationship. I've never been on a date before, so I agreed out of curiosity. We went to a nice restaurant. The guy never asked me a single question about myself. And after I got tired of coming up with questions about him, we just sat the rest of the meal in awkward silence. We split the bill, and after he walked me to the subway, he tried to kiss me. I declined as politely as I could and went home. The next day, I met up with Rachel. Apparently, she's already heard about how the date went from her friend. She asked me why I rejected him. I told her all the reasons I mentioned above, that I didn't really like the guy. Then she rolled her eyes and said, I need to lower my standards because I'm honestly not that attractive. That I blew maybe my only chance to date. And if I continue like that, I'll end up alone forever. Even though she knows I'm fine without a relationship. Also, I'm not insecure about my appearance, but hearing my friends say that about me hurts. I got angry and said, better to be forever alone and end up like you with a husband that doesn't respect me. She started crying and said that I was being
Mm-mm.
rude and she was just trying to
Nope.
look out for me and then left. We haven't texted or spoken since. Honestly, I'm not sure if I want to salvage this friendship after finding out this is how Rachel felt about me all the time. However, I feel guilty for saying this to her when I knew it was a sore spot and also kind of blaming her for the fact that her husband is awful. So am I the asshole?
No, absolutely not. Not at all. Not in the slightest. At all. Nope.
Yeah, same. Rachel sounds like a pick me. I mean, obviously she doesn't deserve the bad treatment that her husband is giving her, but yeah, you're not the asshole for telling her that you don't want to end up like her.
I mean, see, I was really shaking my head when she said she wanted to hook up with somebody. I'm like, mm-mm, because clearly you ignored all your own red flags.
Right?
I
Right?
don't trust you to be to be the one. No,
Yeah.
she's not the asshole. And I think, like, why are you crying when you told her she's probably missed her only chance, and you didn't think that was hurtful, but when they say I don't want to be like you want to cry, now let
I
her
know.
cry.
She was like, she told her she's not that attractive. You cannot be
These
crying after, no.
these new age friends, please.
Listen, no, you're definitely not the asshole. And listen, this thing of going out on dates just out of curiosity, I've been there. Don't like it's such a huge time waster. Like you think like you're just, you're like, what the hell? I'm not doing anything else. Let me go and like just have a chat with somebody, over a meal. But it rarely ever turns out into anything, substantive. Like just stay in your house. Please take it from
No,
me.
it's true. Many years ago, I went on a date just out of curiosity. I don't remember, but it was very awkward. I don't remember what the conversation. I'm not going to say because I was also very vapid at the time. Um, but the only thing that came out of that date is that my friend said this man looked like Elmo.
Oh my
And
God.
to this day, we refer to him as Elmo, but I don't remember. It was just, yeah, like I was not attracted to this person. We had a few conversations where I knew that I was not interested, but I was like, let me just go and see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
trust me.
and that's what I'm saying. You know if you're attracted to a person or not. But yeah, just like let me do it for the plots. The plot is not that interesting.
Listen, I've spent years of my life just doing things for the plot. I mean, sure, go for it, but listen, it's not going to end up anywhere. The plot will start and end there. It's very temporary. That's, yeah, my advice is don't do things just
It's a short story. It's not an anthology.
exactly. So, yeah, not the asshole girl. And I'm so glad that at the tender age of 22, like you're secure in
Very
yourself and you're okay being single because obviously your friend, First of all, why are you getting married at 23?
child bride.
Bruh, that's really a child bride. It should be illegal.
My mom got married at 22. And
Whew.
so growing up, I used to say, oh my God, I want to be married by like X age. And then I think it was maybe 22 or 23. 22, 23, 24. I was like, thank goodness nobody lets me near marriage at 22 because
Imagine. Lord of mercy.
I was not the same person. Me at 22 compared to me at 26. By the time I got to 30, I don't think my 22-year-old self and my 30-year-old self will get along.
I don't think about it that way. I always think about like my older self as like being like a big sister or a guide.
Yes.
To my younger self, I always imagine like what advice would I give her?
And that's why I say my older self will roll my eyes probably every time my 22-year-old self opened her mouth. Just like,
Hmm.
this one. That's really why I'm like, they wouldn't get along just because it's just like, oh my God. I think I imagine that my older self and my younger self would be like my sister and I in reality. Because I was telling my friend yesterday or a few days ago, I was telling my friend that every time people talk about, I think it was a butterfly. I cannot remember. Freshman year in college, I was convinced I wanted a tattoo on my lower back. and it was going to be something as basic as a seahorse or a butterfly. And my sister said, absolutely not. Thankfully, one of the rare occasions where I actually listened to her, because my MO was to ignore, do it, then come back and cry to her.
Mm.
I listened to her and I'm so thankful.
A
Because
seahorse would
why?
have been cute though. A seahorse would have been cute. I think you
It's
should
still
reconsider that.
it's still a tramp stamp. No. The only tattoo I want now, and I've told my friends that if I don't get it in life, they gotta give me my casket. The first time I saw Eve's paw prints back in '99, I wanted them so badly. I still do.
Me
And if I
too.
don't get them before I die, I've told my friends to make sure. I said nobody should draw it because I don't trust. They can want to go and draw a tiger and it will now be looking like chupacabra. Please, I just want that on. That's all I ask. Maybe one
I
day
don't
when
want
I
it there. I don't want it in the same place that she had, but I do want a paw print tattoo. I might still do it.
maybe I'll put it
Not in
under.
that position. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this, different thing that we did today. We want to hear your opinions. If you thought you agreed with us on who was the asshole, who was not the asshole. And remember, our July book of the month is My Parents' Marriage by Nana Ekwebu Hammond. And if you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, it is Two Bees in a Pod. And give us a follow on Instagram at Two Bees Pod. Until next time.
All monkeys cannot hang from the same branch. Please, what does that mean?
My interpretation is like everybody has their own lane, right? In life, everybody
Okay.
cannot be doing the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody has their own little space where they fit. And yeah, don't try to swing from somebody else's branch because the branch will break because you don't belong there. So find your own
You know,
branch.
that could be an entire episode on the Cameroonian community at large, where
Mm.
whenever somebody thrives in one thing, everybody wants to do the same thing. Not because they care, but because one person thrived at that thing without examining, like, hey, what is it that I really care to do? Or what is it that I really love? But it's just because he did it and he's successful. So we're all going to go do that thing.
We should definitely talk about that because, this summer I've been in the throes of an existential crisis. So when I come out from the other side, we should have a conversation about that.
I'm happy that yours is just this summer because, like, last weekend, I was sliding. I was like, well, I guess it's time for a regularly scheduled existential crisis. And I just lay on the couch, like, yeah, okay, do what you do. And I was just like, really, there are people who say they don't have like an internal monologue or
Mm.
like they're not always constantly thinking or talking to themselves. I love it so much for you. Come and teach me your ways because some days I just want to tell my head or my brain like be calming down. I mean, I do say that actually, but just like,
Mm.
don't you take the day off? Like you don't rest.
I feel you 100%. And what has helped me is like mindfulness like practices. That's really
What is
helped me
my
with the
what
rumination.
is mindful?
So meditation, right? And I know that we're wrapping up, but it's not the ones that did not work for me were like where they're just following the breathing. The ones that
Hmm.
worked for me is the ones where like you're kind of almost imagining a place, whether
Hmm.
it's, your favorite place, like a nice garden with a stream or something. So when you want to quiet those intrusive thoughts or just the overthinking thoughts, you just take yourself to that place in your mind. I'm telling you, it works.
Wait, no, I don't know. I'm laughing because in my ADHD brain, we'll start by the water. Next thing I know, we've climbed the mountain. And how did we get to the mountain? Now we gotta walk ourselves back to the stream, but we're gonna get distracted on the way back. I mean, we'll get there.
It's okay. That's still mindfulness because you realize that you've gone off, you've left the garden, now you're on the mountain. Come back to the
I'm
garden.
very, I'm very mindful because I remember I used to get distracted during mass. And sometimes I'll like get so distracted. And when I catch, I'm like, dang, how did I get here? So I have to walk myself back to where I
Mhm.
came from. And I'm just spending all this time in my head. And like I said, it's very mindful because I'm sitting there, I'm not talking to anybody. But you don't want to know where my
Or have a little thing that some people it helps if you have a thing that you squeeze and it brings you back to the present, or like a fidget spinner because
spinner
it brings you back into your body. I don't know. Listen, we're all mentally ill, so find the thing that works for you, honestly.
breathing works. So when I try to go to sleep, I practice breathing techniques to fall asleep. And I feel like it
Mm.
works. But yeah,
Mm.
when I'm awake,
Yeah, breathing only works if I'm doing something like yoga or like a movement where I'm like, okay, inhale, hands up, exhale, that kind of thing. That's the only time if I'm matching it with movement. But to me, to just be sitting here in and out, no, I have to imagine a scene. I have to be
Yeah.
somewhere.
Actually, I need to like, that's the only time when I focus on breathing because I remember going to yoga and they're like, fill your belly with air. I'm like, huh? Did not make sense. So, like, I sit
Really?
there, like, okay, yes, it finally made sense. Like, because I was doing it the other way around. Like, when you inhale, you let go of your stomach, so you're feeling it. So, I would like, it takes me a lot of focus to get it right. And so, yeah, breathing does work.
Yeah. All right,
But yeah,
y'all.
don't ask
You
me to
you
imagine. Let's not.